Hello and welcome to the stream. You guys have voted for the Kimaris in some way, form, or another this whole month. So we are pretty much have built we built the Vidar the first week, we built the Kimaris the second week, and we've built the Kimaris Vidar this week, and then we're going to be building the Kimaris Trooper next week for a Knight's Tale. We're just it says all knights. You won some games. That's good to hear. You know what I won? I won the recognition of one of my Oshis, chat. Look at this. Look at this tweet. Look what I got, chat. I know you're jealous. I know you're jealous. I was dreading the fact that the picture wasn't coming out right whenever I took a picture. I had to take a picture in the morning for natural lighting, and it still didn't come out the way I wanted it to, but I still got a compliment for it. I know you're jealous. I know you're jelly. Red Blue Fantasy. Okay then. Uh, Grand Blue Fantasy one of the ones with the boats? But we were gonna do something for President's Day today, but instead that's gonna be for tomorrow. But I would like to say before we start, Happy President's Day. And also, I'd like to unveil the fact that you might see something's behind the tweet. Actually, I think it'd be hard not to see it. Let me find the image layer real quick. I need to really get these tabs in order. Not tabs, these scenes in order. Senpai noticed me, damn right. Oh god, it'd be over top of it, so I think it's this one? Yes. We have, you may have already noticed this if you were paying attention when you clicked the link, but we have a new format for the for the thumbnail. We have one that is based off of, well, me, but in the Universal Century art style made by Atya Tepes. You can find both her VGen and her Twitter links in the bio. Sorry, in the description if you're on YouTube. And as you can see, for those of you who also watch her, you can see that there is Shogmami is in the background, and that is as a thank you for actually getting me back into hand camming. The whole reason I am doing hand camming was because effectively of her. So as a thank you, I wanted to have her included. And the other one, who's a little cut off in this preview image, but the other one with the tail hanging out is Atya, because I said if she wanted to include herself as a form of signature, she could. And so from now on, that is just how our thumbnails are going to look. Of course, with a mech inside. Audio was an absolutely amazing person to work with. She was wonderfully receptive to every note that I made, because initially when the work came back, she kind of made it look more kind of like an East meets West anime style. We've talked about this in the drawing streams multiple times, but the brow was a little too prominent, the cheeks were a little too rounded. Again, in that kind of East in kind of a very obviously more Western approach to the drawing. And I simply like took notes. I showed her like the shading techniques of the Universal Century, how, you know, like Bright Noah, Chara Aznable have kind of more of those flatter faces. It's less of a rolling mountain range and more like, you know, the Catskills, you know, very low, kind of just rolling. I mean, those are still mountains, but like very low compared to what you usually think in, like I guess you could say, the topography of the face. And she was amazingly receptive, and she took every note, and just the turnaround while she was actively working on it was amazing. Because pretty much from like concept to what you see right now, like she had a vacation, but like she showed me the concept before going on vacation, and then when she came back, she immediately, like day one, started working on it and pretty much got all of it done, finalized it in pretty much a day. Like whenever I gave her, like when I gave her the notes, she went like, okay, and then just threw it back in my face in what felt like no time at all. Absolutely great work ethic, just phenomenal. Would recommend, in all honesty. What does it remind you of? Yeah, there's so many things. But we also have us in a normal suit, which I kind of like. I told her to put me in like the commander normal suit, like what Judo has, but instead, but replace the red with orange, and I think it looks very nice. But now that all that has been announced, let me actually start moving everything. So let me get my head. Oh my god, Jesus fucking Christ. I'm sorry for cursing. I've heard of that. I have not heard that cartoon in oh god, longer than a coon's age. Holy crap. That is wow, I forgot that show existed. The moment you said it, I was like, there was a show called that, Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd Century. I don't remember nothing, but that's like that show from Cartoon Network where you had the people like who had to fix the timeline. It's not this show, but I mean it's like that one show where you had the people who had to fix the timeline. Like you don't really think of those old shows that often. Ooh, like the Phantom Cyberpunk show. It's just that's one of those shows that like you don't think about until like somebody brings it up. Oh my god. Okay, I might have made a faux pas before starting stream, so we might actually have to restart. Not restart stream. Well, on Twitch it'd have to be restarted, but we might actually because I didn't turn on. Wow, I'm really fucking big in the camera shot right now. But I didn't turn on VTube Studio until stream started, and last time I did that, it crashed the hand cam. So let's hope that didn't happen again. And oh, 1 minute. I've just realized I don't have my sprue cutter off. Very good. Dude, I have so much stuff I already have to watch. I still have to watch Andor. I'm gonna watch that in May though, for Star Wars month. Of my audio quality dropped, I had to look away. There it is, to get the sprue cutter. And let us hope the camera didn't break. Something I've realized I've been doing recently is face me. Thank you. Something I've realized I've been doing recently before stream is kind of psyching myself out, like psychologically speaking. I think I have that fixed now, and I just realized I don't have the music on in the background. I'm gonna create a mix, because I hate the fact that we just have Stars and Stripes by itself for like 2 to 3 hours. But at the same time, it's better than nothing. So I'm gonna create a mix. I'm gonna get like, just, Yankee Doodle, Dixieland, Union Dixie, pretty much the same song instrumentally speaking, but I'll get like different songs to like have in the background while we build. But moment of truth. Knock something over, don't worry about that. Moment of truth. But oh, I took down Judo. That's not the right one, dumbass. Okay, come on. Oh! 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 The camera's working. Oh my god, I'm so happy. I'm so... Last time I made that mistake, it completely crashed the camera. I'll have to write that one down. If it's it has to be public domain, of course. Including the performance, annoyingly. But I just go to Library of Congress and like it will literally just say if something is public domain. Ooh. How dare you? There we go. Okay. So it's a bit of a mess right now. But actually before we started, just look at this box. Absolutely beautiful art. But I have more bad news about this guy, and that is I fixed his torso, and actually I would like to show off that once you paint the verniers, It looks pretty nice. But in all honesty, I don't think there's been a drop in like ranking or my opinion of a build after building it as much as this dude. I feel like this guy might be below average now. I don't want to get into too much detail, but I feel like how I kind of think about it is as like if you bought him and you're a really big fan of the Kimaris, you might be a little disappointed because his skirt always falls off. His shoulder, I can't get to come back on properly again. It's pretty much the same problems I mentioned in the past. I was just able to fix his shoulder. This dude, though, there's not really much to him. Oh, is that the piece of art that I fucking got retweeted? Oh my god, but this dude, very good. I think he's like average though, because like really outside of just putting him on a stand and having him pose like this, I can't really imagine doing anything with him. But it's a really cool build. And I would love to have him with the other Kimarises. Oh yeah, the song is, and you should be able to find it. Public domain performance, maybe Boston Pops or military bands are not allowed. Okay, here's the fucking catch. I've had to look into this for obvious reasons. Military bands, of course, cannot hold copyright because military bands are part of the government, and government cannot hold copyright. However, the recording can hold copyright. So whoever has recorded it, if they have not released it to the public domain, it is not public domain. And a lot of times that's not listed. So that's one thing I've had to learn, and it kills me, is if the person who made the recording has not released it, then it doesn't really matter. If like it's a military band. So that's something you have to be very careful about. Ooh. And we have extra lighting, so we have, you know, just as we learned from yesterday, we have some extra lighting coming in from over here. So we have kind of not panoramic, but rounded lighting. And here are all the pieces. Got a strong yellow, mostly for like the verniers and thrusters. I'm not sure what we're going to do with the yellow, but I think we did pink last time for the off-white. I think we're going to do purple. I think we're going to just do panel filler for these because they're not colored, they're just gray. So we're going to kind of combine what we did with the Kimaris and the Vidar. I know, fitting. For the Kimaris Vidar. Seems like a scam. We pay the military. Again, we pay for the military, but the problem is it's the person doing the recording, and they're usually civilians. That's the tricky thing. Neon Wave, I don't see you on Twitch. Did it crash? Let me see. Let me check real quick. I know you prefer Twitch. I appreciate that. It says I have a fine connection. It's the timer on OBS is fine. Let me just renew that real quick because no, I'm on the account. I don't know what to. It's not as stable. Hold up, bitrate. It looks like there was really choppy bitrate earlier. That might have been it. But we should be on. The session hasn't collapsed or anything. So sorry that there's connection issues on Twitch, but that's why I just simul stream. So that you guys, if there's a problem on Twitch, you can jump over. If there's a problem on YouTube, you can jump over. My head's still gone. Let me fix that. Okay. But we're going to start with the pore types, because those are just easier to do. I think... Oh. What's this? What shade are you? Oh my god. That is way bigger than I thought it was. The perspective on the box made me think that it was way more stubby. Like it only went down to here. But no, this is... Oh my god. Fucking compensating for something. I think this will also likely use a pore type, because I don't have brown paint anyways. And we'll use the purple... We still have some purple filler, right? Yeah, we still have purple filler. We'll use the purple filler on this. Okay, so I think we have everything. Oh god, I wish I had brown, though not for this kind of off brown, off gray, but for the yellow. I know brown filler goes really good in yellow. Darn. Let's get out all. Actually, let's just get off the pieces. Let's get out the instruction manual. See what we're good. Let's preview the instructions. It is technically a gun. It's kind of weird. It's a blunt force instrument, but well, you can see right here, these are like the gun parts of it. I think those are technically war crimes and iron-blooded orphans, but you know, don't worry about those. I do. Season 2 has some execution problems, but I just love how the whole premise of Season 2 is just like, yeah, we won because we fought dirty during the first season. What if they fight people who are actually willing to fight as dirty as them? And it's like, oof, it doesn't go well because they actually understand tactics and shit. And it's like, oh no. They're a bunch of junkyard dogs. But now they're actually fighting, like, you know, somebody who was like, no, I'm okay with committing war crimes as well. I got no problem with that, bro. And it's like, oh no, that was like our whole thing. Let us start with this and this, and let's get out the pore types. Actually, I do like the fact that during the drawing yesterday, I was able to just move the camera around a lot. And it's still having focusing issues when it's this close, and I'm sorry about that. But I do like the fact that I can, if something is in the way, I can literally just move the camera, say, over here and angle it, so you guys have a better look at it. Okay. Oh, God. Actually, on Twitter today, I saw somebody had a southern accent worse than mine. And mind you, chat, you've heard my southern accent. You know I play up my southern accent, just kind of for fun. And I heard somebody literally have a worse southern accent, which is embarrassing because I think they were trying to actually have like a real southern accent when they were doing it. Ooh. Oh, let's fill this in. I do like you can just paint over this because if it darkens the plastic, that's fine. It just makes it stand out more. But when your southern accent sounds worse than this, an accent that's purposely cheesy, well, I think you gotta examine some of your life decisions. I just think that's just how it is. So I don't know what I was doing with the southern accent during the Area Lulu collab. I went into a different type of southern accent that was even more over the top. Ooh. That one was just offensive, but that's because Area Lulu was doing a southern accent herself, and I just was like, you know what, I want to do one myself. Got her to laugh. Ooh. Oh wow, we drowned that. Let me. I think I actually have to go to the next room to get the paper towels. I'll be right back. Okay. Don't fall. How are you saying you're not from the South without saying you're not from the South? Exactly. Ooh. Which is why I typically only use it in my reading, because for that it's performative and people won't get offended by it. Not that I really care. It's a fun little accent. I think the Nick one was just so over the top. I can't really do it because it was so emphatic and over the top. I can't even think of what it sounded like. I'm happy with, oh god, I didn't have enough time to timestamp the video. I'm gonna have to do that after stream, but the yesterday's stream of Subnautica went really well. We did everything we wanted to. Ooh, we actually hit chat. we actually fought the Leviathan again, and we got some good hits off on it. Okay, we got quite a few good hits off on it. I think, before we know it, we're gonna be able to kill it. Okay, we're gonna knife fight it to death. Somebody said that, like it'd take like 1,000 swings to kill it. I think we just need a Rocky montage. Okay, that's all we need. Whenever I do a southern accent, I usually sound like someone from Atlanta. But ever try to New York accent, I sound Bostonian instead. That's exactly what happens to me with the New York accent. It either slips into Bostonian, or if I do Bostonian, it slips into New Yorker. I was born in the South, but I lived the northern most of my life. I was an army brat. Ooh. But actually, God, I want to talk about JROTC, but actually, I want to first talk about the fact that I watched the opening of the Sweden versus America game tonight for hockey, and the fucking I think it was in Boston, but the dude who came out to sing the national anthem was this fat dude, and it was just the most American shit ever. Like, you just have this, like respectful, almost kind of quiet, like Swedish national anthem. Then you just have this fat dude in a suit. He fucking comes out. He like literally does finger guns. He goes da 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 da, and then he just locks in and just gives this amazing performance of like the Star Spangled Banner. Just oh say God, and it's but he just comes out. He literally waddles and trots out. Finger gun, finger gun, then just wow, and then just starts singing it, and he nails it, and I'm just like, easily the most fucking New Englander, specifically Bostonian shit I've seen in a while. The performance, yeah, I'm mad. Missed some Nautica stream. I was too tired. Yeah, we got 3 feet of snow in 2 days. Yeah, you said you live in. I don't know if you live like directly in in a lake effect area, but you live fucking close enough to the lake and you live downwind of it. That from what you've told us that you can get that shit can just happen. What? I'm just trying to see which ones I've already done. Okay. God, but the weather has been pretty crazy, but that's typical for the end of February. We're getting close to, well, mid-February. We're getting close to the end of February, which means where I live, the weather's going to become fucking amazing. And when I say that, I'm not joking. I mean, it's going to be the best weather of the entire year. And why does my head keep getting thrown back? Why am I throwing it back? But it's going to be the best weather of the year. And then on March 13th or 14th, it's going to go to freaking shit. Because that's what happens every year without fail. You might be like, how do you know this is what happens every year in the Midwest? How do you remember that? Because, chat, I remember St. Patrick's Day. And you always think, oh, it's going to be a good St. Patrick's Day this year. It never is. It goes to shit every time. Every time. It just goes awful. Doesn't matter where you live in the Midwest. It just goes... you have a false spring in early March, only for winter to go, hold up, I got one more gasp into me, and just destroys you, absolutely annihilates you in the last 2 weeks of March. And then April, it's like, okay, here's some flower, here's some rain. It's gonna be muggy. It's gonna suck. All that snow is gonna melt, and it's gonna be terrible. Hope you're happy with it. Hope you enjoy those first 2 weeks. Yeah, Lake Effect, you sing Star Spangled Banner, I sing, Oh Canada. Oh, not now. I always sometimes remember when Oh Canada comes on is when a promo for Chowder, the TV show from Adult Swim, one of them, they had like a sing-along with Snitchell, the guy who goes rada rada rada, and one of the songs for the sing-along was just like "Oh Canada," it was like rada rada rada. It's just, oh my goodness, that was one of those truly unhinged shows from like the 2000s. Cartoons got real unhinged, and I feel like they culminated. I feel like the peak of unhinged shows for like kids in the 2000s and early 2010s really culminated with like, was it Gumball? That show, absolutely insane. Like I didn't see the whole thing, but like whenever I like go back and I see like episodes of it, because sometimes I'm just like, oh, let me check this out. That show was just literally they were just on meth the entire time. They you could just imagine they were just like they're just in the fucking writing room, just like, okay, give me the insulin. Oh, he just like doing insulin and meth or something, just absolutely destroying their bodies. It's like, okay. He has a brother who's an adopted brother, but instead of being a redheaded, his whole body's like, ginger. Okay. And he's a fish. How does that work? He has legs and he's named Darwin. Oh my god. Do another hit. We're cooking. It is just absolutely insane. When Billy and Mandy is just the groundwork for like the absurdity that Cartoon Network got into, that's pretty impressive. If you want to unhinge, look at political content creators, except don't if you value your fucking Jesus Christ. Actually, the Southern accent was from a not political but social commentary creator. Is from Melanie Mack. She is just trying to be relevant, so she was like doing like an anti Elon Musk post. And there's a lot of things to criticize Elon for, but it's just because like she did like this really bad Southern accent, and like to be like, banish you demon, and it's like this just seems really offensive, and it's like, and if you're like, well, Melanie Mack is from the South, that's even worse because again, my accent's better than hers. Ooh. But yeah, just oh my god. Some commentators are fine, but the people who lose themselves in the sauce are insufferable. It's pretty much very easy to tell the people who lose themselves in the sauce though, because they'll put the politics before culture, and it's just like, no, politics are downhill of culture. Now, culture can flow back into like it's like politics can flow back into culture, of course, but inevitably, it's always culture that takes precedent. And whenever somebody loses sight of that, they always just go off the deep end. It seems. I think that's all the parts. Actually, I'm gonna try to fill these in a little. Actually, where my phone? That is a hell. Oh, sorry. I was appreciating the the expression I had. That was a hell of an expression I was holding, or the model was holding rather. Actually, let me get up the topics real quick. Because there are some other things I want to talk about. Oh my god, biblically accurate Mandalorians. Fucking. I I can't talk too much about Star Wars stuff outside of a Star Wars stream. That's just the rule, but like it is insane to me how little Dave Filoni understands Mandalorians. Because when you see like the show Mandalorian, it's just like anyone who's like an old Star Wars fan is just like, these aren't Mandalorians, these are just a bunch of weirdos, and it's but at the same time is like Dave Filoni who had free reign to rewrite the Mandalorians for the Star Wars Clone Wars show, and there too the Mandalorians are unrecognizable. They're pacifists. I mean, I don't think I need to really say more to make you go like, yeah, that's really stupid. The race that literally the culture where everyone is trained in combat, not because everyone's a warrior, but everyone can be called up for the militia because in case they want to have a big boogaloo against the entire galaxy at any point, the Mandalorians can just go, you know what, let's do this, and just go to war with everyone. That's just what Mandalorians do sometimes. They just go, sometimes that's just what they do. And everyone can pick up a gun. You still have veterinarians, but that veterinarian can bullseye like from like 50 yards away just without even trouble with a pistol. It's fine. More like politics before common sense. That's also true. Fucking ironic. I hate politics, yet I love Gundam and Legend of the Galactic Heroes. Yeah, they're politically heavy, but they don't really. They kind of comment on just like this is like bad. This is just bad juju kind of stuff. They don't like go, oh hey, like right left politics or whatever you want to call it, or like the answer. They just go like, hey, having generations of like having generations of war and having the older generation for Gundam, mind you, for the Universal Century, having it so that the older generation doesn't like learn a lesson and teach the younger generation war is bad, or the younger generation not learning from the older generation's actions war is bad, and just perpetually doing war, it's pretty fucking bad. It's pretty much something that anyone can agree, that anyone can understand. It doesn't take a side. I mean, outside of, being like anti-war, but that's different. I've actually need to watch Legend of the Galactic Heroes because that looks like something right up my alley. Never had the chance. Or really, I just never had the time. It just looks like something I'd absolutely adore. And I love how apparently I was told by my brother how they deal with like hacking in the future. They just have everything just physical copies. So it's just like, oh no, like they can just hack our computers. Just print it out, dude. They can't hack that. And it's just like, no, they can't. I think that's Legend of the Galactic Heroes. I think that's what he told me it was that did that, and I'm just like, that's actually not a half bad idea. Just to like go like, okay, what about things that we can't foresee, like how they would actually handle it in the future? It's just like, just have them techno regress, and it's like, yeah, that's a good way to do it. Things that we can make reasonable guesses on, do it. Things that we can't make reasonable guesses on, techno regression, brilliant. Okay, that one's filled. I don't remember filling that one, but it's filled nonetheless. Is that popping anymore for you guys? Let me see here. Oh, hell yeah, that is popping a hell of a lot more. It pops better. Ah! The Kimaris is right here, so it's kind of getting in the way. Gonna go, keep up the good work. You have a great night, dude. I should probably start these streams a little earlier. This is, again, I just have a curse where if I try to start a stream that's not divisible by 2, it just kind of ends up having, like, whenever I try to start a stream at 9, it always gets pushed back to 10. Whenever I start a stream at, like 7, it gets pushed back to, 8. If I try to start at 5, it gets pushed back to 6. It's just the weirdest thing. I can't explain it, chat. So I feel like it wouldn't do harm starting these at like 9:30. It just cannot be done for some reason. I shouldn't say can't be done. It's just always more of a bother. Done. Oh, I don't think I've said this. It hasn't been like we haven't agreed what channel it would happen on because it's very fast and loose doing things with Area Lulu. But ooh, she made it sound last time like she wanted to have it on her channel because I hosted the collab last time. So keep your eye out for that. I'll still make a Google post about it and whatnot. A Google, YouTube post about it and Twitter. But just be aware that the collab tomorrow for like the presidential tier list might not be on this channel. Ooh, which honestly I wouldn't mind because I would like the kind of just liberty that would bring. Just having a little bit more freedom in that regard. Ooh. I was hoping that would be the case with the Zootopia, but because things had to be shuffled around last minute, I was a little nervous during the Zootopia. And that's why I wasn't really at my best. I'm also just kind of nervous anytime I do a first time collab with somebody. Whether it's even if it's somebody who I've ooh, mind you, not a lot, but I have watched I did watch The Sound of Music off stream with Area Lulu. Ugh. I didn't say ugh because The Sound of Music. I said ugh because I messed that up. Okay, because I messed up the filling in right there. But even with that, and being pretty calm with her, even when she like literally like called me on one of her streams, it's just hosting the collab I got a little nervous. I'm a little shy guy. What can I say? Yeah, it'll be fun. And actually, she actually had a really good idea, which is like obvious in hindsight. But what it is I'm gonna like she's gonna pick the president where it goes because she's gonna be picking them purely based off of like superficial features of just how attractive are they and whatnot. And then I'm going to be the one who goes, okay, so you put like Andrew Jackson in S tier, so he's responsible so like he is like calmly held responsible at least indirectly for the Trail of Tears, which killed 5,000 Native Americans, Cherokee, which was like a fifth of their population at the time. And it's like, ooh, but you can't take him down. He just really like those Widow's Peaks. Sadly, can't stay because I gotta eat. But just want to stop by and say, well, you have a great sleep. Always remember to have an excellent sleep. That's part of the reason why I want to start streaming these a little earlier. For you guys who do just have to get to bed a little earlier. So I know in general you guys can stay up, but some of you can't. And I don't want to forsake those who can't. Just for the majority. I want to make the most out of it for you guys in general. And I'm not doing this on camera enough. I'm going to have to lift this up a little. Okay. Hopefully that doesn't get in the way of the camera too much. I have the camera a little more centrally aligned so it's not having the parallaxing error in the AI that we discovered yesterday. There we go. Sleep is for the weak. Dude, I don't know when the fuck you sleep. I'm gonna be completely fucking honest, Lon. Unless you're not unless you're in a completely different time zone. The fact that I stream and you're just fucking able to fucking be there the entire time is goddamn fucking frightening sometimes. The fact that you were there the entire you just fucking you chatted, but you also like lurked mostly for the Knights of the Old Republic stream is fucking insane to me. That shit was 8 hours, bro. That shit was 8 hours, and I was talking about inane Star Wars facts. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if you sleep. We have not seen proof that you sleep. But God, I'm excited for next Star Wars month. I just want to play more Knights of the Old Republic, and also the Bounty Hunter game. I don't know if that game is any good. And then you wake up. Amateur mistake. Waking up after going to sleep. Amateur mistake. Just never wake up, chat. Never wake up. Stay in the Matrix forever. Okay, this is going to be a little bit difficult. I am appreciating. Because these are very shallow. 3, 4, 5, 6. These are very shallow. Okay. Hold on. Let me try to bring this in. A little bit tricky. Okay. That overflowed ever so slightly. I think I'm just gonna have to clean it up after the fact with the lighter fluid. I was sleeping through half of it. You see, that makes sense. Having a nice little siesta. Understandable. You like this time because it's after Timcast? Ooh. I have no idea what Tim is doing anymore. I hope he's doing well. I just couldn't really stand his when he was still doing commentary, because what he'd do is like halfway through his videos, he had a 20-minute videos, and halfway through his videos he'd just kind of like restart what he was talking about. And so it was like videos, he didn't have a good structure to his videos. He'd talk for 10 minutes, and then at the like 11-minute mark he'd just start talking about the same stuff just slightly differently. And so it's like, I feel like you could just edit this down, bro. You didn't say anything new. It's like watching one of my own streams. We've talked about this, man. Okay. But I know he's not one of the people who's gone off the deep end. I have no idea what the hell Sargon's doing anymore. I remember Sargon of Akkad. I don't know what the fuck that guy's doing. He has like his own like news network now. Did those fill in at all? They did. I don't know what the fuck's going on with those guys. He got married? Damn, I didn't even guess that. I know you're talking about Timcast, by the way. I know I moved on to Sargon, but I know you're talking about Timcast. Having a baby? Good for him. Good, that is good for him. I know it was a bit anime racist, but it seemed more out of ignorance and like stupidity. Kind of just like, oh hey, this is what other people told me kind of thing. But to be fair, a lot of people were just pretty stupid when like this was like 2 or 3 years ago, probably 3 or 4 at this point. But a lot of people were just like, oh hey, it must be a dude with a voice changer or something, you know, for these women. It's like, no, it's just women who just like don't want to be mistaken for thoughts half the time, and other times they just want to be playing as a fun character. So they just use a virtual avatar. It's pretty simple. Rakita, oh my god. I used to watch YouTube lore named Rakita. Yeah, Rakita fucking win. Holy shit. Was Rakita the one who literally had open drugs in his house and the police did a drug test on one of his kids and they actually had the drugs in, like they actually tested positive for the drugs, not necessarily because they took the drugs, but just because if you just have cocaine just sitting out in the open for people to inhale passively, is this gonna end up inside them? Like, what the fuck was that shit? Was that Rakita Law, or was that some other fucking guy who just went off the deep end? I really don't want to get the people wrong, but like, Jesus Christ, somebody went off the fucking... I think it was Rakita, because people call him Rackets. The Sonichu Battalion, really, it fucking did curse him, dude. He did get the Sonichu Battalion. You throw that shit out immediately. You gotta go to the highest place of your state, and you have to burn it, and then you have to pray to Shiznu. Okay? You know, I'd be like, but that's gonna curse me to hell if I pray to Shiznu, because that's sacrilege. You gotta do it, bro. Some costs, it's worth it, okay? Sometimes going to hell is a mercy. Oh my god, it was there when he got in the... Oh my god, dude. Meanwhile, I'm there for like really silly things when on streams. I don't think I've ever watched a moment of disaster on stream. I've only ever watched like things like on the Pippa stream when a guy just ran into like when a guy literally drove to a roundabout, got out of like his car and did push-ups for Pipkin Pippa to prove that he was a viewer. It's just like, I forget, it's like El Dudente or whatever, but it's just like, it's just a dude. Like, he got up, stood in front of his headlights and like this T-pose, and like that was an emote on her channel for a while. That's the kind of shit I want. That's the kind of shit I like stumble into viewing. I got good luck in that regard. Oh god, I've just been watching a Legal Mindset instead. He's been keeping the spirit of Nick use. Yeah, I've heard good things about him. He's also a lot more open-minded than a lot of other creators I've seen. Because he seems like pretty receptive to a lot of like modern day internet troubles that a lot of people would kind of just shrug off and just go like, who cares, because it's the internet. Like, he seems actually, from what limited I've seen, invested in it and been like, actually no, because these things will set legal precedent, so we should care about them. And we want that legal precedent to be things that are good for creators. Of course, he's a creator, but still, who says a lawyer can't be self-serving? I don't think anyone says that. I just made the dumbest face. I just had the greatest idea for a watch along. We could play Phoenix Wright and then watch along My Cousin Vinny. That would be fucking peak. That would unironically be amazing. But I need to focus on the watch alongs we already have planned, like the Knight's Tale watch along, which is happening not this weekend, but the weekend after. This weekend we actually have a collab with Powerlines and a bunch of other people in modded Lethal Company, which I am fucking excited for because modded Lethal Company is really fucking funny. A lot of Johnny Somali streams, and it's hilarious. Ooh. But I'm really excited about I just haven't had a chance to play like modded Lethal Company with like, you know, like 8 people in a while. It's such a hell of an experience. And ooh, the first time one of the no, it literally was the first time I played Lethal Company in like a modded system. It was the first time I ever played Lethal Company. I literally turned to somebody who was like, "Want to see a magic trick?" And then they're like, "Yeah." It was like the second or third mission I'd ever been on. The doors open before you land. I run out the door and die. And then it's like, huh. And then the ship lands, everyone leaves, and then the ship takes off without anyone in it. And they're just like, what the fuck just happened? And I'm just fucking cackling. And then it's like, Merrick, when you died, did you make the ship go up after you died? Yeah, because I was the only person dead. So when I did a vote, I voted, have the ship go away. I made everyone disappear. Ta-da! Magic! Fucking... Oh my god, I'll do shit like that, and then just be the best team player you can imagine for like the rest of the experience. I am true neutral, chat. I'll do one thing to like ruin everyone's experience, and then just be like the best fucking teammate you can imagine. You see, that's the trick. You need to be invaluable, so that way they kind of just forget. Sometimes you can just do shit like that. Sometimes you're just like that. That's all you need. You just need them to be able to forget. This is Merrick we're talking about. He can just, at any point, he can just turn to me and kill me in this game of like while playing zombies in Halo. He can just turn to me and blow my head off where we're the last 2 people fighting off the zombies for no fucking reason. He probably won't. 9 times out of 10, he won't. But 1 time out of 10, if he thinks it's funny, he might just do it. He might just turn without a word being spoken, and right before I'm about to get stabbed by a zombie, kill me and go like, I helped you, buddy. But then you respawn. If you get killed by a teammate in zombies, you get respawned pretty much where all the zombies spawn anyways. So it's just like, I helped you, buddy, and then he just gets eaten alive. I'm a team player. Didn't let those zombies get him. Well, let me check something real quick. Okay. Oh, wow. Let me just put that note down real quick. 49. Da-da-da. Oh, these are the presidential notes. God, I had to make a lot of presidential notes because I do. There's plenty of presidents I know about, but chat, let's be honest. Could you name all the presidents? I had to make all the. I have to go back and do all the notes. I say all the notes, but it's like Abraham Lincoln. I'm not putting notes on Abraham Lincoln. Andrew Jackson. I don't need notes on Andrew Jackson. James Polk. I don't need notes on James Polk. James Polk is literally one of the most Sigma presidents to ever live. He literally went like, I'm going to do everything I need in 1 term and then leave. Man literally conquered half of Mexico and then just fucking left. Like, what? Excuse, like dude gets into office, takes half of another country, makes a treaty. I think he also made the 49th parallel treaty with the British. Just doubles, if not triples, the size of the country, and then just goes like, I'm done here, and just leaves. Like, who does that? Okay, Phasmophobia. Not a. Phasmophobia. Fuck it. I've done some Phasmophobia with Power Lines, and I think it's Power Lines, Atya Tepes, and the Captain. The Captain is somebody I've been trying to do a collab with because he's like the first person I found who actually has played Halo before, which is makes me feel old as fuck that it's so difficult to find people. Excuse me. Christ alive. But I'm so happy I can finally find someone. Problem is, he lives in Australia. So scheduling times, fucking impossible. absolutely just not happening. It's just not going. It's just not. It ain't fly, bro. Okay, just not happening. Um, and we started trying to schedule things at the start of February. We won't be able to have a time slot that overlaps until I think the second Saturday. No, yes, the second Saturday of March. 2.5, like from starting to actually getting a date is 2.5 months, chat. And we both want to play. It's just the fact that like when there is like what a 15-hour difference, that's a fucking big difference. Like people in Europe are easier to fucking schedule with. This guy, I'm like, I want to play this game, and he's like, I want to play this game. It's like, oh, but it's just so damn, it's so damn difficult to get the time. Yeah, I really want to do multiplayer Halo. Because Halo is fun as hell, but multiplayer Halo is just a different experience. You can also fuck around and whatnot. There's so many great mods on the Master Chief Collection, unironically. There's mods that reinvent the game, that reinvent each individual game, and there's multiple mods for each one that reinvents the games. The Mythic mod for Halo 4, Halo 4, easily like one of the most flawed Halos. The Mythic mod, I'm gonna paint this. I'm gonna fill this in later. The Mythic mod for Halo 4 makes it feel like a classic Bungie Halo game. It is so nice. It's pretty peak, I'm not gonna lie. Like if you have the Master Chief Collection and you're like, and you want like a reinvented experience of all it does is it refines the enemy types. It makes the knights less tanky. It adds a middle class for the Prometheans, and it makes it so that the Watchers aren't pains in the ass to fight. Like it just does things that you always wanted the game to do, i.e., not be shit. I'm not excited for the Halo remake, but they are making. Oh, they're making that new studio's doomed again. The thing is, one of the biggest problems with Halo is that they had their own version of Kathleen Kennedy named Bonnie Ross for the longest time, just organizing the company, and that's one of the biggest reasons why the projects were so shit, because Bonnie Ross pretty much didn't know how to do jack shit. And right now the lead of the company is Pierre Hintz, and Pierre Hintz knows how to develop a game. Now, that doesn't mean that does not mean Microsoft will let him develop a game, but it's in a better spot than it has been. But that doesn't mean it can be salvaged. That doesn't mean, it's going to come out great. But I'm at least optimistic that it will be better, at least on release, than the last couple of Halos. That's if they are making it in-house. If they outsource it again, no, it's going to be shit. It's just going to be shit. But if they are in-housing it to like understand the mechanics, refine it, and make a new experience, I can understand that. If they touch the fucking story, it's over. It's just over. Like you cannot touch that story. And by touch the story, I mean like change any character motivations, change any like character portrayals or anything like that. You can't touch that. It's over if you do. God. But it's a lot of things, man. Like Pierre Hintz, when he was put in charge of 343, now Halo Studios, like one of the things he did is he turned around and immediately got Halo Infinite to start functioning on like full blast. Ooh. Like he just, and like a lot of people were upset like with some of the things that he did. Like he was like, I'm just gonna get rid of the cutscenes. We're not gonna be developing cutscenes for like the story content anymore. And people are like, I'm upset about that. But because he did that, there's no longer any overhead in that regard. They can just release content because there's so much fucked up with it, and Microsoft is underfunding the project. Because Microsoft literally is expecting them to only be funded effectively by their loot box, not their loot boxes, but by their store. So like he was like, we're gonna have to cut everything and then like do only the bare essentials. Like I'm optimistic, but like it's just you just never know. Well, yeah, 343, even before it became Halo Studios, like the moment Pierre Hintz was put in charge, it was completely restructured. Like the whole company was fully restructured the moment he got in charge. They had it is a it was a like they didn't say Bonnie Ross get the hell out, but they gave her a golden parachute and then just restructured the whole company, gutted all of her lieutenants, just got rid of her lieutenants or like put them somewhere else in Microsoft, and just gave Pierre Hintz so much control that it's just like it is insane if you actually know the behind the scenes, like changing of hats for 343 when Pierre Hintz got in charge. Like, but again, one of the biggest problems wasn't simply Bonnie Ross. It was Microsoft itself, and Microsoft saying stupid things like, "Oh, hey, this game needs to be free to play, and it needs to be supported by its online store." Like that's one of the biggest problems of Halo Infinite, and one of the biggest things that has held it back. And Microsoft could very easily just turn to Pierre Hintz and say, "You have to do that again," even though it's just observably not a good idea. We've done this already. But like pretty much what you gotta do is you gotta hope that Joe Staten, who's pretty high up in Microsoft at this point, is going to like pretty much do what he did for Halo Infinite and be involved enough to salvage the mistakes of salvage like compensate not salvage compensate for the mistakes of higher Microsoft management, because that's part of the reason why Halo Infinite, like, I wouldn't say was saved. It wasn't saved by any stretch of the imagination, but that was a grace given to Halo Infinite, is that Joe Staten was like, "Okay, I'll be involved in this." Like Joe Staten, who, if you don't know, was one of the original developers. He's the voice of the grunts in Halo. It's a distorted voice, but when you hear a grunt go, "Ah!" or whatever, that's Joe Staten. When you shoot a grunt in the face and it makes a horrible death cry, that's Joe Staten. And he literally took time out to be like, "I need to help Halo get back on its feet." But there's only so much a man can do. And again, at the end of the day, the problem is just fundamental to the fact that like Bonnie Ross was just absolute poison for the franchise. I need to shake this up a little more. Oh my god. Complete non sequitur. But one of the easiest ways for me to make people jelly is just to tell them where I live, not only are there functional malls that are healthy, chat, like it's the fucking 90s or 2000s, but there are full-on mall goths at the malls. Fucking people have just been like, that's not possible. It's extinct. It's like telling somebody a dinosaur is still alive. It's like, no, no, no. The Great Recession wiped them all out. It can't be true. No, we have a little pocket of preservation where I live, where there are literally, again, mall goths. And when I say mall goths, I'm not talking about a girl in like a little bit of makeup wearing black. I mean fucking full 9 yards, chat. And you're just like going like I remember when I first moved here, I saw that and I was like, holy shit. Like I was like, how is it and this was years ago, mind you. I was like, holy shit, how is this possible? It is insane. Like the healthy mall was enough to fucking make my eyes bulge out of my head. But like fucking actually seeing that it literally had mall goths, I'm still in disbelief to this day. It shouldn't be possible, chat, but it is. Ghost Dayton fucking did try. Though the fucking I don't know if you've played Halo Infinite's campaign, but holy shit, the death cries of the grunts are fucking nightmare fuel. Because because it's Joe Staten again, he reprises the grunts, and I've never felt bad for killing a grunt, even though they're silly little goofy guys who are literally just innocent slaves that you're killing effectively. In Halo Infinite, they just make the worst sounds imaginable when they die. Like they actually sound like they are in fear for their lives and that they are suffering every second of like killing them. And it's just like, Joe, you went a little too hard with this. You like like they I can't recreate the sounds, but like holy shit, Joe went a little too hard with his death cries in Halo Infinite. Like, oh my god, it almost makes you feel bad about killing the grunts, almost. Actually, a really funny thing about, God, grunts are just like one of the saddest alien factions in all of, alien races, in all of, like, fiction. Because it's just like, oh hey, the Covenant's finally gone, we're no longer slaves. Cortana comes along, hey, walk my way or I blow up your planet. Okay, you got it, Cortana. Cortana goes away. Banished, take over. Banished. Like, and they go like, oh my god, he saved us, Banished. And Banished literally just pull the fucking Megamind. More like under new management. But if you're a really good slave, you can command other slaves. Oh wow, thanks, bro. Thanks. Isn't your whole like raison d'etre to like be free of like oppression and whatnot? No, 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 no. Our raison d'etre is to be free of covenant oppression. Okay? You guys, you need to fight for your survival. If you fucking impress us, we'll give you some treats. The grunts just never catch a break. They're just like the saddest little fucking creatures in all of existence. This is actually cleaning up a lot easier than the other plastics. I wonder why. Like the Kimaris, the plastic really set in, sorry, the paint really set in like quickly. I don't know. I will say one thing they need to do for the next Halo game is fix the fucking loading screens, because the loading screens are what screens are why I have not played it on a stream for the longest time. Halo Infinite, why I've not done the campaign or anything. Ooh. It's because the loading screens, not the game itself, the loading screens can literally, if you have VTube Studio running, break VTube Studio, because it will just go, you know what, we need like all of your, like, we're just going to randomly need the entirety of your like GPU for like half a second, and that just breaks fucking VTube Studio. It's worse in other older PCs. It is insane. It's almost as insane as the fact that the Windows 11 is not functionally compatible with the Master Chief Collection, which makes no sense. You make Windows 11, it's not compatible with your own software. How the fuck did that happen, Microsoft? How did you do that? Uh, but like I can play for at most like an hour, and then what I'll have to do after an hour of gameplay on stream, and I've done this like this is over a, it's not over a year ago, but it's almost a year ago by now, that what you'll have to do is close VTube Studio and the game and then reopen both of them, because it will just, because you can't reclose one, you're gonna have to reclose VTube Studio to reset it even if you close the game, and you're gonna have to close the game so that way you can reopen VTube Studio. It is the only game I've ever seen do that, and it does it on the lowest settings. It does it on the lowest graphical settings, because again, it's not the graphics. It is the fact that the loading screen just decides to do that. Because there is some technical debt they have not been able to make up for in that game, which is absolutely insane. Which is a real shame, because it is actually genuinely, unironically, really fun. Halo Infinite. Ooh. It's easily the funnest I've had playing a 343. And actually, I enjoy it, the multiplayer, more than Reach, because Reach had some broken ass elements to it. I think we can acknowledge that. While it doesn't have like any broken armor abilities, it just has, the equipment, and the equipment is a lot more balanced than the armor abilities of Reach. So I've never actually been like annoyed with that. The weapons are a little more balanced. Like the DMR isn't just like a mini sniper. The sniper's kind of crap in the game though. The sniper, a little poo poo. But that's just like how they've. I don't remember what makes it really crap. I think it's more the servers is the problem. You have to like lead your shots. If you know how to lead your shots, it pretty much functions like it's always functioned. But It's just really stupid that you have to like literally know what your ping is to use the fucking sniper rifle correctly. But that's just, to be fair, Halo has always had, not in this regard, but Halo has always had ping problems, even since Halo 3. Actually, since Halo 2 included, but people don't really think of Halo 2 that often. It's had connection issues. It's just that Halo 3 netcode, this is more a matter of who was more an artifact of its time, and a lot of the guns didn't. It's like an older game, so it like has more leeway in like what you're willing to accept, I guess. As but with a modern game, you're like, no, like you need the snappier gun like feedback. You know, like Halo 3 is far softer in its feedback, so it can get away with, kind of being a little jank sometimes. The BR, do they have the BR? The BR is pretty good in Halo Infinite, I remember. Ooh, like the BR doesn't outshine the DMR, and the DMR doesn't outshine the BR. It's kind of like if you want a little extra range, you get the DMR if I remember correctly, but if you want to have more versatility, you get the BR in Halo Infinite. I think that's how it goes. And if you want, it can't. Now, this gun really depends on the update you're playing on. But if you want a gun that's just kind of more, I'd say beginner friendly, but still can give you a headshot if you pace your shots correctly, the Commando wasn't too bad. Again, that depends on the update. We're going to have to wait until these are cut off. Some of these are actually a little harder to panel line, I'm seeing. One thing I will always get annoyed by is how they ruined for like over like a year. They had the, not the bolter. Is it actually called the bolter? Is it the Boltok? I don't remember. No, the Boltok is the fucking pistol from Gears of War. But they had the brute pistol has like if you shot somebody with it and then meleeed them, it'd be a 1-2 kill, and it was really fun. But then a bunch of pro gamers complained about it, and they changed it, and they made it so like it had to be a 2-shot and then 1-hit melee kill. I don't remember if it's because they weakened the bolt or if they weakened the melee attack of it, but it just made it boring as hell. And it's just like either take it out of the competitive playlist or mind you, it wasn't like ranked, it was competitive players, it was like professional players who complained about it. Either take it out of there or just tell them to live with it, because eventually they brought it back and everyone was like, this is something that never should have changed to begin with, this is like fun as hell. I was like, but it's broken. I don't care, Halo is fucking built on broken weapons. You ever fucking use a brute shot against a vehicle that is designed to be broken in Halo 3? In Halo 3, the brute shot is a hard counter to vehicles. It will flip a vehicle with minimal effort. Ooh, it's an anti-vehicle weapon. There's utility in weapons like that. If you don't want to die from the mangler, I think is what it was. What you do is just don't fucking do melee range with them. If you see somebody has a mangler, don't get into melee with them. It has a blade on it, dumbass. Ooh. Yeah. A lot of the guns have kind of been all over the place in a power balance. That's a bit annoying. Though they've kept the AR. The AR has, I think, fared better. It has one of the better ARs in all honesty. In Halo. These are going to be a little harder to do. We might want to. There's a lot of detail on this son of a bitch. I'm gonna have to cut these off. But the AR is a bit better. Ooh, it doesn't have, that god awful bloom of reach, but it's also not weak as hell like it is in Halo 3. And it's a weapon that like you're not upset about having at the start of the game, but you also don't immediately ditch it. It's not like the thing you ditch first. Sometimes you're like, you know what? You might throw away your pistol because you get a better headshot weapon instead. Ooh, it has versatility. It can take down shields and health in a mediocre fashion. It's a good starter weapon, is what it is. I don't know if it still is, but it was a good starter weapon, which is what it should be. It should be a weapon that you can use, but you should want to use other weapons when available, but you don't have to. In some regards, they've this is modern gaming. This is an issue in general, but like they've had like good and they've both done the balancing well and also overbalanced some elements. Ooh, I feel like that's just true for all gaming though, because with live service and whatnot. And when I say live service, I don't mean constantly paying for the service. I mean just constantly being updated. That's just like something that happens out. Ooh, you just get constant rebalances, and sometimes those balances go a little too far, and then they have to like unbalance it, but they can't go back to what they had before because there was still problems with before, and so it has to then kind of do a whole dance. It's a whole thing. Still crazy how much the turnaround rate changed though between when Bonnie Ross was there versus when she like left. Okay. Actually, I still have as one of my goals in streaming to do lasso with a Halo lasso with people. That was gonna be really hard because I'm gonna have to have more than 3 other people. Because I'm gonna have to have a literal stable of people, so that way every 2 weeks, effectively, it's like how I'm thinking of how it's gonna be done. Is I can just if you are available, you will join us for lasso. If you are not available, you will be replaced by somebody else. Because it's gonna be a hard experience no matter what, and you're just gonna have 3 people outside myself, 2 to 3 people, not necessarily 3, but at least 2 people at a time who can join in and just be like, okay, we can just play this for 3 hours. And if you can't get through a mission in 3 hours, typically you can't get through the mission. You have to come back the next week. You might get through the mission in an hour, but if you're not gonna if you get 2 3 hours, typically, if you get to 3 hours, you haven't even gotten through half the fucking level. That's just how it goes. You just this level you just don't have its you just got psyched out by it. You have to come back next week. This is how it goes. I would love to do lasso. It's still one of my goals because lasso is really fun, and I have played almost every. I've actually wait. Have I played every outside of Halo 5 and Infinite? I have done lasso with 3 to 4 people lasso in every game. So that means I've done lasso in Reach, 3 and 4, which doesn't sound like that many. Halo 2 lasso is just a fucking joke because they because it's almost impossible to get through the first room, and it's just like, you know what, this isn't my lasso experience. I'm good. I beat Halo on legendary. I beat Halo 2 on legendary by myself and with a friend. I'm good. That's good enough for me. But ooh. Oh, and of course ODST. But I know the experience, and also I'm willing to be the guy who carries the plasma pistol is one of the most important things. Because a lot of times people want to like still play like they do normally in Halo games. And that's gonna have to be beaten out of them regardless. But ooh, there we go. There we go. But I am willing to be the guy who's just gonna be like running around shooting the heads off of grunts because they're like, no, I want to fight the brute. Okay. So a lot of times in Lasso, what happens is I just have massive numbers, cheap viewers. You can piss off. I'll have like I will have the most overall kills, but it'll just be grunts and jackals, and I will also be the one who's just constantly being like, oh hey, there's a brute, armor off, and then just moving on, saying Halo 3. Just like, okay, he doesn't have armor anymore, somebody else can deal with him. There's a grunt, your head's gone, your head's gone. There's a brute, your armor's gone. I'm just running around in the background doing that. I'm just playing support the entire time. There we go, let's get rid of that little douchebag. Oh, but that... 1 minute. Sadly, to do that, that made YouTube chat go away for a second. Yeah. One of the things you'd think would be one of the hardest things in Lasso is to keep track of your ammo because you have no HUD and you have half ammo in the game. But firstly, if you have plasma pistol, what you do is you just every time you see a new gun, you just pick up the new gun of its plasma, and you can only pick up guns if they have more ammo than your current gun. So anytime you have any plasma weaponry, it's actually not that big of a deal. Secondly, and also plasma pistols are all over the place. But secondly, you learn to make the most of your shots and only go for headshots really quickly. You might think the worst levels would be the flood levels, and you'd be half right. Um, Floodgate is the easiest lasso level in probably all of Halo. Because Floodgate, you can speedrun it even in lasso. And you can just avoid every conflict, every enemy in that level and just skip right to the end. I say skip right to the end. You have to pretty much duck and weave through the enemies, but you can pretty much speed run that one really easy. You can't do that with any of the other lassos easily, but you can do that with Floodgate. Cortana is going to take a while. Cortana is going to take you a hot minute to do. Ooh. Oh my god. But it's worth it, chat. You need to save your waifu. Your banging hot waifu, chat. But I still find it funny how, to this day, everyone agrees that the people who made Halo 4 were very obviously far more of butt people than boob people, because Cortana in Halo 4 is just so bottom heavy. Like, it's just like, you just see it and you're just like, Jesus Christ, you people. Like, wow. The people of Halo 4 just were just very open about their preferences. Whoever was the, like, lead designer of Cortana's model, like, Jesus Christ. It's like Tarantino for... It's like Tarantino with fee. It's just like, I see what you... I understand. You don't need to, like, be throwing it in my face all the time. It's like, no. It's our art. It's like, I don't think it's art. I think it's just your fetish, bro. It's like, no. No, this was an artistic choice. I don't... No. No, it wasn't. I'm telling you it wasn't. Just accept it. We understand, bro. You just have a preference. No. I never objectify a woman like that. Dude, I'm looking right now. Oh my god. Ooh. She did have a good emotional core in Halo 4. I will give that to it. It was a little weird in Halo 4 in some elements, narratively speaking. The Didac was weird, but the whole saving Cortana through line was pretty nice, and her sacrificing herself at the end didn't make your quest feel futile. It made it feel tragic. I will give the game that. Halo 4 has a lot of things wrong with it, both narratively and in its multiplayer, but overall, not nearly as bad as people set it up to be. It really is like the Phantom Menace of Halo, where I get this off, please. But really, where like it's objectively not as good as what came before, but it's not as much of a qualitative drop as it felt like it was. Like it's what is it like? I always say like attack. I always say like A New Hope. Sorry, Phantom Menace is like a 4 or 5, which isn't like bad, but it feels bad because you were going like you just go from like maybe a 7 out of 10 movie that felt like maybe an 8 out of 10 movie with a Return of the Jedi because it has all the emotional climaxes in it, and then you just drop by like 3 or 4 points. That's pretty fucking intense. Like that's a pretty intense drop. So like it's understandable people being like, oh my god, this is so much shitter. And that's kind of the same thing with Halo 4. Is you go from a game that had a pretty serviceable story. There's a lot of problems in Halo 3's story, but it pretty much keeps going like, well, we have emotional climax, so you're going to be distracted by the fact that we just kind of cheated to get here. But the the multiplayer is still fucking amazing. The multiplayer of Halo 4, of Halo 3 is still easily like the cleanest of all the Halos. Fucking, you might be somebody who grew up with Reach and prefer Reach, but as somebody who didn't get to play Halo 3 online when it was released and actually got to experience, because I just didn't have Xbox Live at the time, but got to experience Halo Reach before experiencing Halo 3 online, I can tell you right now, Halo 3 is just better. It is so much nicer. It is just so much cleaner. It is such a better experience overall. Okay. There we go. I don't know if Master Chief Collection is probably deader than a Doranel by now, but it would be cool if, like, they did something for promotion with Halo. God, that was awful. With Halo Master Chief Collection to get, like, the player count back up in the meantime while, like, they're doing other things, like making the remake or making the next Halo game. Ooh, in general. If you got enough friends, it's still great to play custom games, if nothing else. That is looking really nice. Might be the first time where we only can do prep, though, on stream. I'm not quite sure. This prep is really demanding so far. Because we haven't had this much... I don't think we've ever had this much prep before. God, is there any games I'm looking forward to this, Are any games coming out this year? I'm assuming Metroid 4 is coming out with the release of the Switch 2, or it's gonna be coming out within the next year, if not this year. Ooh. Wouldn't surprise me if they release the Switch around summer and then Metroid Prime around if not with it, if they don't release it with it, probably holiday season. That would not surprise me in the slightest. That's really messy. Ugh, I'll have to do that later. Well, I'll have to refine that later. But that would definitely be one game, especially considering that I know it'd be different people, but I'm sure that there would be some like old hats at is it Retro Studios at a yeah, it's Retro Studios. Hopefully some people from the original Metroid games are still there to help guide the process, or at least hopefully they still have the notes or something. But I still remember when like almost said Microsoft, when Nintendo was like, yeah, we don't know what the hell we're doing making this game, so we just like literally called up Retro Studios and just contracted them to make it for us instead. And so it was like maybe, and everyone was like, yeah, that's what you should have done from the beginning. But we're happy you got to that understanding eventually, Nintendo. Yeah. I can't think of anything particular. Like right now, also like any games I could think of would probably be Nintendo games. But Nintendo, because the Switch 2 is coming out, is keeping everything very close to their chest so they can make big announcements and be like, look guys, we have things and whatnot. So like any games that maybe I'd be looking forward to are just not public information. I think people kind of don't really care about the next Elder Scrolls anymore at this point. Like they're like, yeah, I'll probably play it, but like they announced it and we just haven't heard anything since announcement at all. And you might be like, well, that's also true for Metroid Prime. Yeah, but like Retro Studios hasn't released a game almost identical to Metroid. Like Bethesda has released games since that announcement, and they have not gone over well. Like Bethesda has lost a lot of goodwill. Nintendo has lost a lot of goodwill as a company, but as a developer, still has a lot of goodwill. Like people are like, I hate you as a company, but I love your games. And Retro, who's actually developing it, also hasn't like lost any goodwill recently. So that's why there's a difference there. That was so clean. I'm so focused on this. I'm painting inside the lines so cleanly right now. Okay. Let's hope this isn't too much paint. I'm literally painting by like a single hair. Like I think you can see it. Can you? You can't even see it, so thin. Like I'm painting by the tip of one of the hairs. I'm not even painting by the brush. But it's holding enough paint. That's why you get better brushes, chat. Because they hold the paint better even at the tip. That looks amazing. The panel lining is going to make this thing pop so damn well. It's already making it pop so damn well. Ooh. Oh, that's political philosophy. I don't want to get into political philosophy right now. Also, I've also talked about that before, just ooh, the inapplicable nature of the terminology we use. That would have been more fitting for the drawing stream. Drawing streams are where anything's allowed. Oh my god, fucking, I'm so happy I fucking wrote this down. Oh. Chat, have you ever read Dante's Inferno? Because I a lot of times like to say when you read older pieces of fiction, you can like really appreciate how like, certain things weren't rules on what not to do. Like there weren't rules on not to do certain things. And Dante's Inferno just is very much that where there are no rules of not to like have in your story just to insert yourself. Why is it out of focus so bad? Can you please focus? Ooh, focus. Why are you not focusing? Long time ago, Dante cries a lot, yeah. But it is very much self like oh there we go. It's such a self insert at parts. Like I think Windigoon said it really good in his summary. But there's like a part where like Dante meets a bunch of like old philosophers and whatnot, and they're like, Dante, you're super cool, and like Virgil's always like, Dante, you're a pretty cool guy and whatnot. It's just a dude. It might as like if a dude wrote it today, it would literally be like my tour through hell with my Kami Oshi. That pretty much is what it has like the vibes of through like through some of it. Like when it just has that vibe sometimes. It's just like I went on like what if I went on vacation through hell with my Oshi? It's like if I fucking wrote about how like like I went to fucking. Ooh. It's like if I wrote to like my tour through Ohio with Aristotle. Oh my god. Oh, not hating on it, mind you. There's plenty of like interesting stuff in it, depending on the translation you're reading, of course. Ooh, I mean, not depending on the translation, but like the quality depends on the translation. But there's this, the vibe sometimes is a little bit funny. Sorry about that. There's a bit of noise pollution. Oh my god. I do need to read Dante's, and there's so much I need to read on stream. But this month, we already have both the Ulrich research, which I think will have to be a research stream. I don't think I can do a presentation. I just don't think I have enough time to make a presentation. But we will be reading the full Knight's Tale from Geoffrey Chaucer. We will be reading that. Actually, you saying Dante cries, I read that already, but I just remembered, it is funny how Dante's like, at the beginning, he's like, oh, these poor tortured souls, and then by the end of it, like, as the sins get worse, and as he kind of understands more and more, like, these people are responsible for the hell they're in, he kind of just becomes, like, more and more apathetic. He's just like, yeah, you guys are kind of pieces of shit, to be honest. At first he sees the horrors of hell, and he's taken aback and horrified, but then by the end of it, he's like, you people just kind of suck, actually, like... I don't feel so sorry for you no more. But it really does read like a guy going on a tour. Ooh, there's a dude going on vacation. Because it literally is just him just being guided through heaven and hell, and I always get the name. It's not limbo, it's purgatory. That's what it is. And purgatory by like different people and whatnot. I think I can never remember. My brain always melts. I believe Virgil guides him through hell, and then I think it's Beatrice for purgatory and for get these off real quick. And for heaven. Though I can't quite remember. Because I believe Virgil can't get out of hell because he was from before Christ, so he cannot enter purgatory because it's a pathway to heaven. So he's just like, well, I just gotta go back and hang out with all the other people who existed before Jesus. Totes bye, bro. And it's like, oh, no, bro, bye. Ooh. Oh, you awake, Gunner? Yeah, you are. Go back to bed. Always remember to water down your paints, chat. Makes them so much easier to work with. There we go. Like, it's amazing how much better that pops just with a little bit of paint. With a little bit of effort, it pops so much more. The blue, I think we're gonna go for... We have standard blue. We do have a standard blue. I think we're gonna go for a standard blue. I don't want to go for the Prussian blue because... I mean, mind you, this is on blue, but it just made this guy... This just looks black. So I think we're gonna go with a bit of a lighter blue. But I don't know... I don't know if we're gonna go with Gundam blue or if we're gonna go with light blue. Let me look at you. Well, again, I want to go with something darker than the Kimaris that had. The Kimaris had like a sky blue. Actually, I need to get some water. I'm a little dehydrated. Not a good sign when you're like, ooh, my head hurts. I'm dehydrated. That's weird. Ugh. Actually, I'm gonna be right back. I need to check the temperature. And where I live retains heat really well. I need to make sure it didn't go past the temperature it should be at. It feels a little weird. Be right back. Now it's only like 71 degrees. It just feels a little weird. Okay. Okay, there we go. Oh, you know what? I just realized I did not put Stars and Stripes Forever on repeat, so it's just not been in the background at all. That's stupid of me. Okay. There we go, chat. I don't know why I have that as a note. I've talked about how old English is gibberish and still until you hear something that's like in either Latin or Greek, which is always funny. Is here if you hear old English, you're just like, I don't know anything that's happening right now. It's like or that's good Kurgan Bashukan that did or Jesus to Sean. You're like, hold up, roll back right now. You just say Jesus, and it's like, yeah, you just said Jesus. That is funny to me, just the fact that the most understandable part of Old English is the part that's not in English. Okay, there we go. Oh my god. That one wasn't as clean. My model. Okay. Having it set up here, the model's not breaking nearly as much as it was with the parallax error. That makes me a lot happier. Holy crap, there is so much prep on this boy. This is one of the final Gunpla of the line before, of course, like the DLC, you could call them, of like the series. Time for Delta Force. Oh my god. Jesus fucking Christ, Delta Force the movie. Fuck me. It is such a... I don't think you'd expect me to go into this, but fuck. That movie is pure propaganda for, like, Israel. Unironically. It's just Israeli propaganda, and it was literally funded by Israel to be Israeli propaganda. It's a really fun movie still, but, like, the first half of the movie is, like, a completely different script than the second half. The first half of the movie is, like, a hijacking, and it actually humanizes like the terrorists in it and shows that like these are just people who have been pushed to the edge and whatnot and all this, and then they just become like mustache twirlingly evil, and it's just like, oh, this is where the funding kicked in. So this is like they had a script for a movie, and then, you know, to get it made they had to actually, you know, like they had to go to the Israelis and go like, okay, like we'll just make one half of the movie what you actually originally planned, and then we'll just go into full on this propaganda. And it's such fucking whiplash. You just have like these characters that are like, they're bad, they're doing bad things, but you can see how like they're not evil people, and like it's a complex situation, and then it again just becomes let's just kill our hostages, let's just, you know, be mustache twirlingly evil, let's just forget about the fact that this guy had a daughter, and we just like spent a lot of time humanizing him and how he didn't want to hurt the children aboard the plane. He wanted to actually comfort the children aboard the plane because of, you know, his relationship with his own daughter. Just take all that, just throw it out. Have that guy earlier on that like was just a dude doing things that he wasn't the most comfortable with, but, you know, he thought it was the right thing to do. You know, maybe a man going to hell with good intentions. Just blow him up with like a mortar fired from the back of Chuck Norris's motorbike. It's cool, bro. Don't worry about it. It's such a fucking trip of a movie. It's so fucking insane. It's so weird. It's such a weird fucking movie. I love it, mind you, but it's this really solid drama about a plane hijacking, and then it just becomes a... And then again, as I said, it just turns hard into being a Chuck Norris action movie, just almost a complete tone shift, and everything just changes in the film. It is a fucking wild time, chat, if you have not seen Delta Force the movie. You know, I haven't really looked into techniques or anything. Is this, as time has gone on, I've just gotten better at like filling in with paint. Okay. Christ alive, I really do think we might not get any building done today because there's just so much panel lining. Ironic on the week that I don't have an extra day to stream Gunpla is a week that I finally encounter something that actually requires extra time to do. Oop. Oh, what are we doing? Well, I really want to do the digging stream. I really want to do the new digging game. Is the thing, but like if I have to, I might have to sacrifice it. I don't know. I can't stream on Saturday. Huh. I don't know what I'm gonna do actually about this. Well, I might have to finish the Vidar next week if I can't get this all done within this week. We have the Kimaris Trooper next week. Oh, that's gonna be a rushed week. I don't know. We'll just see how it plays out. Actually, I do want to say that there probably won't be voting for the first week of March because I don't think... I'm thinking more and more I won't be doing a Gunpla that week. I think I might just take that Monday and Tuesday off to do some like video production and whatnot, and just... If I don't have the Discord finished, which it effectively is already, just get anything that I need done, make a bunch of like clips for like YouTube shorts, just dedicate those days to just full-on work and not have to worry about stream. And I could see myself just doing that. Thank you. Doing that like every month, just having the first Monday and Tuesday off just to do stuff like that going forward. Because you just need to find time to do these things, and sometimes you need to make sacrifices. But after that, you guys still actually won't really be able to vote because we're going to be doing the real grade the real grade new Gundam for the anniversary of Char's counterattack. And that's probably going to take like 2 weeks to do. Really, I don't think voting is going to probably pick back up until like late March, and I'm sorry about that, but sometimes that's just how things go. But I'm going to try to do better at promoting stuff. Ooh. So it won't, I'll try not just to drop it on you. Actually, speaking of promotion, one thing I'm doing next week is I'm going to be releasing my first song cover. And it is going to be, for anyone from the Midwest, it is going to be a certified classic song. If you're not from the Midwest, suck it. Anyways. But it's going to be a song that is going to be released on February 27th for International Toast Day. And yes, there is, I don't know if it's international, but there is a toast day. It is the last Thursday of February, you know, and we're going to be releasing a little song for that day by Haywood Banks. Those who know, know. But I'm going to buy a toaster, which is the instrument of choice for the song, tomorrow. It's just going to be a real cheap, like $10 toaster. I'm gonna be out of pocket for this cover, chat. I need the instrument. Let's go! Oh my god, it's gonna be such a stupid thing. I wanted to make a compilation video, but I just ran out of time for today. I wanted to make just a video of just like each president. Not like a video on each president, but like a video that just goes like through each president. So it's like Washington, it's just like, this is peak John Adams, this is not peak like Thomas Jefferson, I suck his dick. Then it just like keeps going, and I just have like something to say each time. It's like for Polk, I'd just be like, this is what Sigma grind set looks like. That dude did have a Sigma grind set, as I said earlier. Ooh. But just like go through like each president and just like say something, just like to say like a single like phrase just to describe them. I feel like I'll just have to wait to do that maybe all the way until next year, as disappointing as that might sound. Because I just didn't have time this year to do that. Actually, non sequitur, but on Twitter, I encountered somebody like right before I went to bed, because it was just so late last night, I just wasn't able to timestamp. But I saw like a post by somebody who's just like, "Oh, the only thing people care about is numbers and all this shit," and I'm just like, "Oh, hey, I'm sorry to see that, you had a bad time about something. I don't know what it is, but like, I hope, like, don't view things as just a numbers game, because then you normalize it to yourself and you become the very person you're complaining about." And their response to me was just like, "Well, this is why you don't have big numbers." And I'm just like, dude, you can't fucking be complaining about numbers. And then when somebody goes like, "Hey, if you're complaining about numbers, you're gonna be the person like you hate," and then return with just like, "Well, let me just fucking like, talk about numbers, talk down to you about numbers." It's like, bro, you just proved my point. That wasn't the point of what I was saying, and you just proved it. Like, oh my god. The amount of projection people will fucking have online is fucking insane. It is ludicrous. Fucking every fucking... But also, like, the reason I responded, because it's just like, no one cares about, like, the only thing people care about are numbers. And I was like, I go into every collab, unironically, chat, expecting zero growth. Every collab I go into, I expect zero growth. Not to say that it's like that's indicative of reality, but more to say like I want to be there for the person I'm collabing with, not for some numbers bullshit game. That's just a toxic way of thinking in general. I'm starting to see why I cut these off. This is like nearly impossible to do. I just have to drown the piece, and drowning a piece is like one of the worst things you can do to fill it in. Because it will never be as clean as just actually having that good hand. Thing is, we are not even on to the other ones yet. This is insane. I don't even know if we're gonna be, at this rate, I don't know if we're gonna even be able to do the fucking trooper, because we might not even finish the prep today. This is genuinely crazy. Like, I've been yapping a lot, but I've also been, like, doing all the work I need to be doing. Also, all so fine detail, so it just takes so long as well on that account. Please. Please. Hopefully, the blue parts don't have nearly as much detail. Well, sorry, the parts that we're going to be using blue on, rather. Let's see what we have here. Oh, God. Yeah, they're going to be a lot easier to work with. Okay. Actually, we might want to just do purple on this as well. I'm not sure, looking at it now. But it looks like these are the most intense pieces that we're doing right now, luckily. And we are almost at 2 minutes. At 2 minutes. 2 hours. Oh my god. But usually by now we will have been done wrapping up the painting. Well, here we're still pretty stuck into it. Again, I think it's going to look really nice for it, but... There's another cover, because the cover I'm doing is going to be based off of Haywood Banks. Ooh, if you know who he is. And there's another song. I want to do his song Big Butter Jesus for the anniversary of the burning down of Butter Jesus, because there was a church just, I think just north of Cincinnati. Yeah, it had to be north of Cincinnati because it was in Ohio. South of Cincinnati is Kentucky, by the way. But just north of Cincinnati, there was a big statue that looked like Jesus was just like melting into the ground, and he had his arms up into the sky crying, "What the hell, bro?" And it was a massive statue. It was so big. And it got struck by lightning and burned down. Which everyone fucking laughed about when that happened. But Haywood Banks wrote a song called Big Butter Jesus. And it's just a song about how it looks like it was made out of butter, because it was this off-white yellow color. And it was all like kind of... Ooh. It was so big that you could tell that it was like scaled up from a smaller model. But you could tell like they didn't like increase the detail from the smaller model all that much, because it still had like, it was still, because how rounded it was and whatnot. It wasn't like with the Statue of Liberty where as they made it bigger, they refined the details. It was like, as they made it bigger, they just went like, screw it. So again, it kind of also had that like, it didn't look bad, mind you, but it had that like kind of low resolution feel because of that. Which just made it look even more like it was made out of butter, because, you know, like you can't, because butter is such a soft material, you can only get so much detail into something like that if you were ever to make something out of it, like carve something out of that. This is a very nice song by Haywood Banks. This Big Butter Jesus, I can't believe it's not Jesus. Oh, Imperial Jesus. It's just him that's making a bunch of puns, and it's just a really fun song. That is not the song I'm covering next Thursday. The song I'm covering next Thursday is actually a song that I showed my best friend Xandir. And like, he just had like no interest in it. And then he fucking came back to me like 3 years later. I fucking remember this to this day. And he was like, "Merrick, have you heard this song?" And he just starts playing. Just starts playing the song, and I'm just looking at him and it's like, "Dude, I freaking showed you this song like 3 years ago and you had no interest in it. Now you come up to me and like, I just discovered this new song. Get the fuck out of my, like, get the fuck out of here." It's like, "Oh, I don't remember that." It's like, "No, you don't. But I do." Fucking literally show this dude a song. He's just like, I don't feel it. Comes back later, just like, this is the funniest shit I've heard in a while. Fucking how dare you? How dare you? How dare you spit in my cornflakes and call it sugar and call it honey? Oh my god. Did it? Okay. Really? I don't have more notes? I thought I had more new things. I have notes in general, but I know I already talked about the Chibi reviews thing, how people are face doxing him on Twitter. I don't think, like, that was happening over the weekend, which is just, like, disgusting. Well, you know me, I have a zero tolerance for, like, people who do doxing. So I just, like, everyone who was doing it, I just muted them. Why didn't you block them? I don't like blocking people. I don't think I have anyone actually blocked. I think I just have them muted. The only way I'd block somebody is if they were harassing, like, my followers or something. Then I'd block them. Then I would definitely block them. But so that way they couldn't, like, use my post to get to my followers. Like, outside of that, I'm just like, I don't really care. I'm just gonna mute you. And that usually turns out well enough. I just don't really like blocking because I have been blocked only really by like 2 people, but both times it really offended me because it's just out of the blue and for like no reason. So I feel like that's just left a bad taste in my mouth, and I just don't like the concept of blocking in general. Because you're not simply blocking somebody, like, you're not simply blocking somebody from seeing your stuff, you're blocking yourself from, like, ever having the capacity to interact with them. Well, you're pretty much removing any path to reconciliation. I just think that's kind of wrong. Don't get me wrong, some people don't have a path to reconciliation, some people don't desire reconciliation, but that's not the point. The point is, I do believe in redemption, even to a perhaps absurd degree. But I also believe some people show that they have no capacity for redemption at the same time. I can recognize that. Ooh. Hold up, I'm just cleaning the brush off real quick to reset it. I do believe there are some people who just have no capacity to learn. And what we do with those people is we use them as a fucking as like a testament to other people on how not to behave. For the people who cannot learn their lesson on how not to be a terrible person. At a certain point, you just have to be like, okay, everyone else, these are all the warning signs. These are all the things that, like, you know, you should be looking out for, and know that this is not a good person. This is a bad person. Ooh. I'm gonna get it on screen real quick. Okay, I feel like using purple for this might be a little much. Maybe, I'm just not sure if we should be using the blue is all. I need to get out the blue paint. Going to Hobby Lobby probably on Wednesday. Ooh. I probably won't have time because I'm going to have to double check all my notes tomorrow. Which, because it's like 40... It's over 40 presidents. Oh, it's nearly 50 at this point, isn't it? But I'm going to have to double check all of my notes. I'm going to have to do a bunch of cleaning tomorrow, so I just won't have time to... go up to... Oh god. The Hobby Lobby. I think I almost said the wrong thing. I hope I didn't. It's fine if I did. Ooh. But that's one thing I need to look into. See here. You know, I said I wish I had brown for the yellow contrast, but not really a lot of room for it now that I see it. Okay. So, is that all of those pieces? So I think we only have this left. And I don't know if we're going to get any building done today, but we might at least get, I don't know, like the head done or something. Here we go. I need to switch out my freaking water, because this water is from last week. Ew, disgusting. It just means all the paint that I rinsed out in it has just settled to the bottom. It's kind of gross. Okay. You're Prussian blue, you're too dark. I'm gonna try to be a little lazy here. I'm gonna try to experiment. Is that a good idea? Probably not. But I want to do it anyways. Give me one moment. Find something, actually. I think I'm gonna have to leave the room to get it, but I'll be right back. I think I'm out of glass vials. I'm actually going to mix a paint. See if it turns out the way I want. That's what I mean by experiment. I don't need to do this. If it doesn't go well, I have a backup plan. I can just literally just use a palette. But I'm kind of curious to see how this will turn out. So, what are you? Okay. Shaky, 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 shaky. I know my head is still gone, just give me a second. I'm looking severely off screen anyways right now. I'm actually even facing away from the mic slightly. Oh, that's a little more than I wanted. Okay. That didn't create the tone that I wanted at all. Created a really nice purple, though. Created a really deep purple. Let me see if I can show you. Like, I don't know if you can really see how deep that is, but like this is the purple we had compared to like this super darker purple. So we could go with that. I accidentally added a lot more red than I wanted to. Oh. You can either go with this, this is kind of super purple. Or, we hear, or I'm gonna mix another paint combination real quick. Okay. I'm gonna have to make sure this is fully cleaned out. Then mix this palette. Or blue. Or blue. See here. I was hoping showing that would kind of reveal to me which one it should be. But it really didn't. Can I create like a neon purple, maybe? God, this paintbrush holds its paint way too well. The cheap paintbrush. You might think, like, isn't that a good thing? No, because you want paintbrushes to transfer paint, not hold paint. Well, that's a cheap brush. I know it's... That's why I use it for mixing. Okay. Okay, that reads... Okay, Jesus Christ, that had me fucking... That doesn't even read. That doesn't read at all. Hold on. Let me try to get more of the paint itself instead of the watered down area. That doesn't read at all. Okay. Okay. That kind of decides it, doesn't it? That really decides it. Why are you red now? And don't say because you mixed red into it. Don't be a smart ass, chat. Hold on. Give me 1 minute. I thought I mixed it thoroughly enough. Let's get this, come on. Okay. Oh my goodness. Neither of these are reading. Like, at all. It's reading better. Bubble. Better from... Like, it's reading better, but it's still reading really poorly. The problem is the sky blue is too bright. The dark blue, the normal blue doesn't read, and the dark purple doesn't read. So... I'm just gonna cut my losses and go with the dark purple. And ugly as fuck, and why are you it's also mixing like incorrectly. Even though they're all Vallejo paints. All mixing in like the most vile fashion imaginable. Not my ideal. But it works. Okay. Luckily, actually, looks like there's like very little we need to do here looking at it, because this is going to be covered. So... You need to be watered down is your issue. Do we have water? We need to get some pure water. Let me get some pure water real quick. I got the water. I forgot to make my head go away, so that's happening. Hey, look, my head's being cut off. Ugh. Okay. Allow me to very quickly... Okay, now let me mix the water in. I think just all the paint we added kind of like unwatered it down. Let me just see if this will work. This isn't ideal, but it's the best I can work with right now. There we go. Booble. Okay. This is where like the Gellerhorn symbol goes, so we don't need to care about that. Actually, where are the stickers? Gellerhorn. Where do you go? These are really big stickers. I'm not quite sure, but I know they aren't going in these slits. And another game I'd love to play with people, but it's a little harder to play with people, because it just depends if they have it, is EDF. The EDF games are so hilarious. They're like the silliest parts of Helldivers cranked up to 11. I love the EDF 4 song because it just keeps getting more and more depressing, because it starts off with this like, oh hey, we go and fight the bugs, but then everyone dies and people keep dying, and then all the people I knew and loved died, and it just keeps getting more and more depressed. And then the like commanding officer just goes like, you're like, you guys are being really depressive, frickin' stop it. And then they just go like, but then a hero came and saved the day, and they describe the character from the previous EDF game, the player character from the previous EDF game. Ooh. That's a fun game. There we go, chat. Yeah, I think now I just have mostly just notes about drawing that I talked about already. It always seems after the 2-hour mark, these streams get a lot more calmer, a lot more pensive. See here. We need to do fill. We need to do fill type for right there, but I really don't see. I think this is the same problem that I had earlier with the other guys, that having just a darker tone on it doesn't, you might as well be using black. So, I don't know. I might like go back over with like a blue or something. Damn it. Okay. Yeah, it might as well be black. Kind of curious now if I can just... It doesn't read on camera at all, but it reads off of camera. Lot. Actually, I don't know why it doesn't read. Am I going insane, or does that just not read on camera? You're gonna have to trust me that it looks better off camera. Okay, there we go. Okay, you have a great rest of your night. We're gonna pretty much probably finish up sooner rather than later. We only have probably like another... We're probably not gonna build much, but we're probably gonna start on the building soon. Ooh, let's get the building started to get the feel of the build and then stop stream. We might not even get to the torso. We might just build the head. So you won't be missing much. And I know you're like, oh, you say that, but then you go on streaming for a while. Yeah, but this is a Gunpla stream. That's more for gaming streams. I'd be like, oh, I'm almost done. Then 3 hours later, and I'm like, oh no, I'm not. Okay. Put a dot there. And put a dot there. Okay. And then... fill you in. And then... fill you in. We're definitely not building the arms, if anything. At least we're going to be building the head, assuming that's the first thing you build in the kit. Then the torso. But we're not going to do the arms or anything. We'll do all the limbs for tomorrow. Okay. It is annoying that this just doesn't come through camera at all. It's actually really weird. It doesn't... Hold on, let me... Yeah, it does. It looks like it's just the same. It looks like it isn't there on camera. That is weird. It's a little bit visible there, but... that is... maybe it's just my angle. It could just be my angle from the monitor. I'm gonna hope it's that. But you guys will be able to see it. I know I forgot to do the pictures for the Kimaris last week, but I shouldn't be having that issue this week. The issue with the Kimaris is I wanted to change the paint on it. And... I should have sky blue. Okay, do I still have an untainted sky blue container? No, I'm gonna have to make a new sky blue container. That's gonna be for the verniers, and we're not gonna paint the verniers until, like, the end. Like, yeah, by end, I mean, like, after we build and whatnot, so... that's not a problem. Because I actually find the verniers to be easier to paint. when you're done, so you know, like, the directionals, if you need to do any directionals or anything. And then let's put this on. Okay. And we need to do a quick fill type on this joint. And now that we've done that, we should bring the camera up a little. That's up a lot. Up a little, up a lot, up a little. Who cares? It's the same difference. Get the instructions back out. Actually, it might... I don't know. With the fact that we've cut off so many pieces already, I'm really wondering how that's going to affect the build time for this guy. Okay. Torso. You have to make sure we put the chest on the torso, the torso together correctly. Because if you don't, it's really loose, as we learned with the Vidar. And you can like have it put together correctly, but it still be really loose. You have to make sure it's really tight. Not the best chest construction, but they were working with what they got with the designs. It's a really cool design, but it has some shortcomings. B. Okay. It has a collar like the Vidar, which is not filling me with a lot of joy. Because the Vidar doesn't have the best head and neck connection. I'm hoping he's gonna not have that loose connection that the Vidar had. Mind you, it was the head that had a connection issue, not the neck. So I'm not too worried, but I'm just in general kind of trepidatious. And then these two pieces. And then D is this. You have a little bit of panel lining we need to do actually, and I did not catch it. But there's a very small amount of panel lining we need to do on this piece. Super teensy weensy, chat. We'll be really quick. Get out the purple. Simple. It's that little piece right there. Okay. Actually move this just away in general. Okay. And finally, I know I've talked about this before, but it just keeps happening, chat. And that is people falling for, like, the demon's tricks in Farron. Farron? Whatever. Fine. Because you just have people who, like, read it for the first time and they're just like, oh, hey. Like, the demons are just misunderstood. It's like, no, that's literally... Like, the story very makes it clear, like, no, they are actually just, like, sociopathic monsters. And some of them do try to understand humans on a deeper level, but they fundamentally can't. They're all sociopathic monsters on a fundamental level, and they can never be with humans because they can never value things the way humans can. There's a whole arc about that. And it is insane how people keep looking at that, and they will just self-report on their own bigotry, on like how they think like what the demons specifically represent. That like the demons represent real, like a real world group or something, and it's like, I think the story is having commentary on like possibly real world people, but not on group levels, more on like individual personality types, i.e. sociopaths. Because that's all the demons are. They're just sociopaths. But they keep going like, no, the demons like are just misunderstood. It's like, again, that's what the demons want you to think. It's literally, they've literally evolved to look like humans for the purposes of being disarming to humans. It's just keeps happening. I mean, it's a great filter, don't get me wrong, for people who are just like politically just completely out of it. But it's just so annoying that it has to like keep being said. Ah. Freeren, Farron, Frieren. And they're just like, well, Frieren herself becomes like cold and detached fighting the demons. It's like, yeah, and that's a commentary on those who fight monsters become monsters to a certain extent. Ooh. Like, you can understand that, but it's pretty much the whole Goblin Slayer thing all over again. It's just the fact that people are like, well, how dare you say in this fictional reality that there is such a thing as pure evil? And what always gets me is that these are the same people that you know, like, believe that other things are pure evil. Like, these are the people who, like, will cast off people who disagree with them as just pure evil because, you know, you don't agree with my topical political opinion or something. Like, you just know it's that kind of person immediately, and it's just always, that's what always throws me through a loop. That the people who are going to say, like, oh, how dare fiction have pure evil, are the people who so often believe in pure evil themselves. It's just confusing. It makes me confused, chat. It makes me, I don't understand. Is the people who will jump to calling other things pure evil as quickly as possible. But for some reason, when they see it in a fictional setting, they have to make excuses at every turn. Weird. Okay. Come on. Okay. And this goes here. Can you have like a backpack or something? Oh yeah, he does. Okay, I didn't cut it out. I didn't see it in the steps. That's my bad. Oh. I do find it kind of annoying when people don't understand the point of stories with pure evil. Ooh. Like, people look at like Sauron in Lord of the Rings and be like, he's not pure evil. It's like Sauron's motivation is literally to take free will away from man. Like, that is literally his motivation. He's like, he thinks humans are really cool, but he thinks that they can't be trusted to govern themselves, so they need his guidance. However, they cannot have his guidance as long as they have free will. So he wishes to effectively enslave all of mankind. Like he has done, well actually not like as he has done, but as his master before him has done to the elves and created orcs. The orcs weren't done because, you know, oh hey, Morgoth was like, hey, I think I can lead the elves better. Morgoth was just a hater. Morgoth literally came into existence and chose to be a spiteful bastard. That is literally his lore. Everyone was singing a really nice song for like literally the god king of the gods. And Morgoth just, Melkor Morgoth, whatever you want to call him, just walked into the room and just went like, and just started singing like, you know, Billy from Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Completely like ruined the like harmony of the song with his discordance. And everyone was like, bro, why did you do that? I was like, don't worry about it. Jumped into the world and started taking all that evil discordance he made and just making it worse. There's more to it than that. But that dude was an absolute hater. He made the world worse and then jumped into the world and just made it even worse. Like he made the world bad and then jumped in and made it worse just because he could. And then they imprisoned him for like a whole era or age or some shit. He comes back out, he's like, I'm sorry. Immediately goes back to Middle Earth, or, well, Middle Earth is a geographical location, but he immediately, well, actually, no, he does go back to Middle Earth specifically, and just starts raising shit again. He's just incorrigible, chat. He's a hater. Morgoth was a hater for the hate. Sauron was like a hater because he had like, he was like, okay, these humans are pretty stupid, but I think they're cool. I can make them, and they should follow what I think. They should do what I want them to do. Free will's overrated, bro. Ooh. Okay, so this is gonna plug in like this. This is actually nice armor for a chest piece, because it would do a lot too. Actually, I'm kind of interested in like how this design compares to the Kimaris Trooper and the Kimaris in general, because I feel like this design would, of course, be made in response to the fact that the pilot was beaten by... Ooh, that is a stiff neck. Was beaten, and I would imagine the design choices in it would be along the lines of like, okay, how do I not get riggedy wrecked again? And one good way not to get riggedy wrecked is just to have extremely sloped armor, protecting your, like having this big heavy sheet protecting your cockpit, but also making it super sloped, so if they try to come in forward, it just gets deflected away. That would be definitely one way. Is to see how this was more designed for combat against other mobile suits. And now let us build. Let us build the head. Bop. 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 I just assumed that was the chin. No, that's not the chin. That's the strut for the head crest. Okay. We could technically do the arms, but we're not going to. Oh, lordy. Oh, lordy, I just saw that. The eyes are individually mounted, chat. I don't know the last time I've seen a mobile suit, let alone a Gundam, with individually mounted eyes. I'm scared. Here's the V-fin. No, I thought I had a more prominent chin. I'm not gonna lie. Holy crap, this head has a lot going on with it for being so small. Okay. These are really reflective, but luckily they also distort as much as they reflect. Like, you'd only be able to tell, you know, like, I'm white from the reflection, which you already know from this. But it's always better to be safe than sorry, I suppose. And here. We need B. We still need B. Wait, no, we cut those off. No, we haven't. What the hell are you? B 24 and 23. Oh, those are little tiny yellow pieces right here. Oh, it looks like as soon as I'm done with stream, I'm gonna have to take the dog out. Hopefully he doesn't start barking or something before then. Like that one time, literally when I was wrapping up, I had to cut short the wrap up because he needed to go. And it didn't really seem to make a lot of sense to, like, you know, go out for, like, you know, 5 to 10 minutes to take him out, then come and then go like, okay, bye. That would seem a little stupid. And I'm dumb, but I'm not that dumb. But he was losing his mind because he had to pee. I don't think that was the day that he had diarrhea. Actually, really weirdly, he had... Ooh, time to share my dog's medical problems. He had like diarrhea, and then he had like stomach issues. Like it's like he has had like a stomach bug working in reverse throughout his body over like the last couple of days. It's been weird. He seems fine though. I think what happened is, I know what caused the, you know, the diarrhea is just some bad food, simple as. But the vomiting was actually because normally we can just give him actually pretty much as much food as he needs for the day all at once, and he will space out his eating really efficiently throughout the day. He'll only eat as needed when he needs to. Just naturally do that, but for some reason, a few days ago, he just decided to scarf down like all of his food at once. I think it's because I put a little bit of chicken in there, because I had some leftover chicken, so I cooked it up and threw it in his bowl. And so he just ate everything. And because he ate everything at once, I think he just ended up like vomiting it, half of it up. And it was half. I could tell it was half because half of the chicken was missing, I could tell. But that was a little concerning until I realized, yeah, he scarfed down everything all at once. He just lost his self-control, because normally he's very reserved in eating. But when he finds something that he truly loves to eat... Okay, so 2? Wait, what? Wait, B16. Oh, there's a whole nother piece we missed. This face is... This might be the most complex high-grade face I've come across. I'm not seeing B16 on here. Like, not even like somewhere that I've already cut out. Let me see here. It's gonna be very tiny. And it looks like it's a darker piece. So, give me a second, chat. Oh, it's right there. That really excruciatingly teensy tiny piece right there. This is a very... I mean, I appreciate the color separation, do not get me wrong. But holy crap, this is quite the high-def build. You can tell it's one of the last builds of a line, because that's where they put in some of the most work into a build, is one of the last builds. And this is like the penultimate, or like close to the penultimate build of the whole like line. And it's really coming through with just all these tiny little bits and pieces. Like, this is a piece that would be super easy to lose. We cannot afford to lose that. Anyways, whoa, throw it away. If I threw that, I would never find it again. There'd be no way for me to ever find it again. It's just too small. I'm gonna have to do this off camera. Okay. The first eye wasn't the hardest to put on. That's the good news. The bad news is we have to make sure these things are symmetrical, or it's gonna look really goofy when we're done with him. And we're gonna actually want to use the stickers, because the stickers are reflective, which makes the eyes have that extra pop. Okay. We're wearing gloves, which are tight, but not tight enough for this. This is going to be a little difficult. One. Okay. The eyes are symmetrical enough. And then we need to put the casing in, or the sides, whatever you want to call them. And how do you go on? It only plugs into one side. That is, or it only has one obvious plug on one side, I should say. Well, I'm happy I'm wrapping up with this. Because you know how I don't like starting streams with tedious tasks like like this. So there we go. And then, oh my god, that was so clean. That felt amazing. It was so clean. Can I have this, please? Okay. Sorry, I just had to use the X-Acto blade because there's a little bit of gating. I don't know why the gates were right here on the face itself. You can't even see that. We're gonna have to come way down. Okay. But God, look at that. Look at that level of detail already. It is insane. I don't even know if the camera can pick it up and do it justice, but you can see the color separation at least. It is an insane build, and here's this weird looking top of his head. He's still got a bit of a cone head, which I don't like. I will be judgmental, and I will say that. I don't like it. But I think it's not a problem, because it's kind of the wideness of these parts right here kind of obfuscate that. It's really a combination of all the builds that have come before. Like the Trooper, he has a head crest of the Trooper, he has the tall head of the Kimaris standard, and he has the kind of these wider sections right here are obviously like the wider sections of the Vidar. As you can see, the Vidar has, I hope you can see here a little, kind of has that like bulbous coming outside. You can see the silhouette. It's not focusing, sadly. Ooh, let me see if I lift it up a little. I think because I need it to focus in this range, and having it that low is making it focus on the paper too much. I'll also find my my surface so you guys can have a better thing to look at while I'm building. I say surface, my cutting board or whatever it's called. Yeah, look at that. He looks a little goofy right now, doesn't he, with his little bulbous head? Oh, he's a little cool. He's a little cutie pie, don't worry. But it's gonna be fine because it's gonna feel with this head crest. I feel is gonna turn it from kind of like a goofy top of the head. It's gonna make it feel more like a Spartan, or actually maybe not say Spartan, but Greek-esque. It's gonna feel like one of those helmets that are like up on top of the head. We know because they didn't they didn't have face plates in those days. So like if you wanted to like get good breathing and air or whatnot before the battle, you just have the helmet on top of your head. This is a really big prominent V fin as well. Let us. There is no locking in mechanism between these two pieces. These are just here by natural alignment. Okay, so if those ever get bent, you're just boned. Good to know. But we have to put in... I was wondering where this went to. This incredibly tiny sticker. For maximum color separation. Is going to go on the V-fin. I think the Kimaris standard had the same thing, but in purple. I'm gonna have to do this off camera. It's just so tiny. So teensy tiny, chat. It looks really nice though once it's on. It looks really nice though once it's on. That little bit of color separation. And the stickers I've found for these guys are a little bit better quality than even some more recent high grades. So I'm hoping that'll stay on a little bit better. But there is the head. And with like the V-fin and the head crest, that taller head really balances out a lot better than the first Kimaris. And this is what we have going into tomorrow. We have this beautiful head. And we have this very striking torso. And I don't want to test it now, but I want to test it just because how we had a weak joint with the Kimaris. But I don't want to spoil things that I don't like putting. I like putting the head on last. So wrapping up for today. We didn't build a lot, but we talked plenty. Talked more than I thought we would. But we have the Kimaris with its big old head ready to go. Nice striking torso. The torso kind of takes more after, I'd say... It definitely has elements of the original Kimaris. It has that, like, the Kimaris has that overhang and a bit of a beak in it, as you can see. But this is just far more of an exaggeration, even more sloped. So, like, the Kimaris has that up-armored cockpit, but this is just taking it to a whole nother level. But we don't have a lot done. I know this doesn't look like a lot, but we had a lot of prep, and I'm going to actually take all the prep and... Not all of it, but I'm going to take a lot of the prep that we cut out and just have that on screen as well. To show just like, this is a lot more than we typically do. And there was a lot of fine detail that looks really nice because we took that extra time. And I'm gonna try to go over the... Oh, the blue actually shows up now. Why? I'm gonna do another coating off stream for the blue to hope that makes it come through even more. Ooh. But I think that's all we're gonna do for today. And we are still under 3 hours. We're about at 3 hours, which is our typical stop time for these streams anyways. There's a little bit of panel lining we missed on the head. We might have to take off the V-fin and actually do some panel lining on the V-fin as well, I'm seeing. But there's a bit of panel lining that you can kind of make out there. Right there, you can see some of it. The V-fin, you can also see the panel lining that we missed. But that is something I'm going to have to do off stream, which is a pretty minor... Well, we have about 10 minutes. Let's see if we can just quickly hammer this out. Let's just quickly see if we can do this before wrapping up. There we go. And get a little bit of paint. 1, 2, 3. Okay. It would have been hilarious if the camera broke and then I just wasn't able to finish it. I don't know if the camera's been breaking more this stream or if I've just been seeing it. If I've just been looking at it when it's been breaking more. But I've caught it a few more times than normal. I'd hope that I've caught it every time. I think it would have only been like 2 or 3 times, but 2 or 3 times is a lot preferable over, you know, an unknowable amount of times. Okay, there we go. That looks nice. That looks very nice. And then let us quickly fill in this. I actually never noticed that even looking at the box art, I didn't notice that it had a bit of a cone head, like the standard Kimaris. There we go. This is a great build. Plenty of fun prep work. A little bit more challenging because the panel lines aren't the deepest. That challenging nature kind of forces you to do better, in all honesty. It forces you to have a better hand and whatnot. Forces you to get good, as it were. Okay. Yeah, that looks pretty damn cool. Love the cone head, and I still kind of think the cone head of the normal Kimaris looks a little goofy, but this one, again, it has that Greek helmet feel, that hoplite. It has that hop. I don't know what just fell on the ground, but it's nothing that I need right now, so that's what I'm gonna rely on my belief in. Let's plug this back in. There we go. Look how much of a difference that makes. Look how much of a difference that makes. There's a little bit of panel lining. We could, I need to panel line off stream these parts. But I need to double check areas. And I've already said that, like, I'm going to be doing that off stream. So now I'm not going to be like, oh no, we're actually going to do that now. We have like only 4 minutes left. So chat. Give me 1 second, I'm just moving the camera. I'm gonna redirect you guys, because you know how I like to redirect you. I can't raid, but I always want to leave you somewhere to go, whether you are catching us now or in the future, you know. So let's look. Oh. Let's look for a place, of course, first, to send Twitch. So, let's put you here. Can we please... Whatever. And we're just gonna go to miniatures and look for VTuber. I want to send you to somebody who doesn't, Let's see here. Copy. Here's somebody building the Destiny Gundam. For Twitch, and for YouTube, let's find somebody for YouTube. Oh. And for my YouTube bros, no, let's not send you there. Damn it, I was gonna link you to the Madara Subnautica, because I thought that would be nice, but she's done with that, so I'm just gonna send you to Urika. Here is an Urika stream of Phase Connect. I don't really see much other people playing. Oh wait, no, wait. I'm gonna actually send you, instead of Urika, I'm gonna send you to Viri Voxana, which I think I have sent before, but that is Viri Voxana. She's a nature spirit VTuber, very cute, very calm. She's playing League of Legends, so, you know, pick your poison. But that is the stream. Thank you one and all for joining us very, very, very much. Whether you've been a live chatter or a lurker, whether you've caught us live or in the VOD, you are very much appreciated. Let me get my head back. Because after all, as we like to say here, don't lose your head. Have a great day and a wonderful life. We will be back tomorrow, but not necessarily on this channel. We will be collabing with Area Lulu, judging and rating the individual presidents of the United States of America. One by one, we will catalog them all. I'll be incredibly uncomfortable throughout the experience, but that's part of the humor of it. I'm the one who came up with the idea for the collab, knowing damn well what I was offering. So that will be on her channel, and if it is on her channel, you will see a YouTube post for that. I have linked to her channel before. I will, you know what, link to her channel again right now. So this is Area Lulu's channel, so if you want to find us there, you can. I would be surprised if any of you don't, because I've linked to her channel before. I'd be surprised if you don't already have her linked. But that's for tomorrow. It should be around the same time, either 9 or 10. I'm going to try and aim for the Kimaris build to start around 9, so we have a little extra time on Wednesday. And then the rest of the week is a little more up in the air. We're going to have streams at 9 or 10 on Thursday or Friday. I'm just not sure which one is going to be for the digging stream and the new digging game, and which one is going to be for the Ulrich presentation. It's probably going to be the Ulrich presentation and or research. Would probably be Friday. And then again, on Saturday, at a time that I cannot remember, we will be having a Lethal Company collab with Powerlines, Atya Tepes, the captain, and a few other people who I have not double checked, but we will be having a nice little big ol' multi-person collab with that game, just, you know, having fun. So I hope if you can come for all of those, that'd be cool. If you can only make one, that's understandable. But I want you to have a great time in the in-between, whether you're watching me or not, and just have a good one, guys. Signing off from me to you, as I've already said, have a great one. Let's get Star Spangled Banner up. There we go. While I'm looking for the flag, let me just make myself look like the flag. There it is. Yeah. Normally I say something here, but I actually don't. I think for once, I actually got everything out in time. Of course, remember, just last minute things I can say. Remember, next week, we do have the... Next week, the 1st of March, we do have the Knight's Tale watch-along. I'm gonna be promoting that after almost every stream, just so nobody forgets about it. It's gonna get annoying, I know, but deal with it.